Good afternoon. Today is August 27th, 2025, and today we had a continuation of yesterday's trend. Um, let's take a look at the daily chart. The daily chart ended doji. We'll talk about that in a second. The weekly chart, I believe that we will Thursday and Friday make a little bit of a push upward. We'll just have to wait and see, though. It could just go sideways because on the monthly chart, which also ends on Friday, we already have a pretty strong bull bar. Um, it barely broke higher than last month's bar, but because it's near the high, I think we could just go sideways for the next 2 days. We'll just have to wait and see. Um, but what I want to talk about, and I'm not too sure, but I think that this sell-off is just because of uh, Nvidia's earnings today. Nvidia, I don't know how to say it, but because it's such a massive company, it has such a profound impact on the market. I I truly believe that is why this sell-off occurred. I mean, we can look. I think the earnings came out something like 124, and look, 120 is when this sell-off happened. So I'm pretty confident that's what this is from. So anyway, uh, let's take a look at the trend. So we're in this uptrend, and when it bounces here at 6:30, right when the market opens, you know that it's a continuation of this trend. All right, so we did have a spike and channel down, and this is right after the market opens, so you get this higher low. And if you see all this, I think you can take it. But, a lot of this stuff is so hard to see in real time, and that's the problem. You need to be very skilled. So if you see this higher low, after the spike and channel, and here, you know, we didn't get a clear break of this channel. However, that is a very big uh, failed breakout, if you will. So if you see all that, you see the trend line here, I think you can argue for taking that. And that turns out to be a spike in channel. And there's just a lot of overlap here, so you're going to have to enter on limit orders if you want to get in. Then we get a break, move to a new high, two legs down, back to the trend line. Get this double bottom, not really a convincing bull bar though. And then we get a failed second entry short. So you can take that according to max rules. And if you take that, I would say maybe at first draw your trend line like this. That actually looks like it probably is the trend line. So draw your trend line like this and try and hold on until you get a break of the channel. And you get a buy climax here that creates an overshoot of the channel. And then we just go sideways. And get a failed break lower. You get this higher low. Could you consider that? I think you could consider that. I think there's enough room to the highs for a scalp. So I think it's worth considering. Not the greatest setup because you're in the middle of this range, but uh, you know, the overall greater context, we have this upward channel. So I think that for that reason, I think it's reasonable to look for a scalp there. Let's see, 91. Oh wow, you really don't have a lot of room. So that's I didn't realize that. I don't think you should take that then because you only have 1 point to the highs just about. So I'm not going to mark that. You get two legs down and then a move to a new high, and then we get a sell-off. And then you get a double bottom here. You get a higher low. I would consider this. I would consider this. That's a big bull bar. I like that. And then you get a two-legged pullback right here off the EMA. So I like that one. And that turns out to be this whole thing turns out to be a spike in channel. And if you see, I think this looks pretty strong, and you can see we have a gap, a body gap right here. And so we get a body gap right there. So if you see that and you want to take this higher low right here, I think you could consider that. It looks like this is tight as well. So 96.50 to 97.25. Yeah, that's tough, but I mean this is looking pretty strong. So you might want to consider that. And then you get a slight overshoot right here, and that leads sideways, and then we get a nice leg down before this bounce. You get a higher low here. This is all below the EMA, and we already have a break of this channel and a move to a new high, so I think you got to sit out. It's also 12 o'clock. And yeah, that's when these earnings came out for Nvidia. And that's really it for this chart. Just keep in mind the next couple days we are closing out the month. So not a whole lot will probably be happening. Also, some people are probably taking a long weekend for Labor Day. So keep that in mind. I'll be back tomorrow.